Everybody hears me. All right, I appreciate y'all. All right, all we go. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Can y'all hear me? All right, let's get it kicked off then. Let's go, man. What's good with everybody? You already know who it is and what it is. And if you don't, it's the one and only one, FleeboyJetson. And if you're tuning in for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you can be notified for upcoming interviews and discussions with your favorite Power Rangers and Power Ranger content creators from all across the globe, from all over the Morphin Grid. We got you covered with all kinds of details, news from comics, toys, etc. Speaking about updates and news, our special guest tonight has delivered and covered Power Rangers content and all types of media for years, man. He is the GOAT, the legacy of nerd himself. Shout out my boy Daniel. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you for coming through. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, we're doing it for a second time, man. So
I was to say, I was like, you got two good intros.
Yeah.
And it's smooth all the way through.
Hey,
smooth.
thank you, man. So please don't forget to hit that like button. Now let me introduce you to my co-host. And I'm sorry, man. We're still trying to work out the kinks of the podcast. But big shout out to my co-host. He will be with me on a weekly, man. So get used to his face. Get used to his voice. He is the nostalgia king when it comes to Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and so much more. You can tell by the collection is back from both of these gentlemen, actually. I gotta step my shit up, man. What's going on, chat? I gotta step it up. But big shout out to Jay Shinosuke, man. Welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Good. It's good to be here. And
Well,
I'm glad we worked out technical difficulties. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well,
I've never been called Nostalgia King before, so I'll take it. I'll take my RuPaul's crown, put it on my head.
All right, so now we also got a special guest in the second hour that will be the Yellow Xeno and Turbo Ranger. Now, she did, because I did get her to elaborate on something that I seen her and Daniel talk about at a convention, actually, how her character was never brought back for no specials, no other episodes and things like that. So you're going to want to hear what she has to say about that. She also talks about her selling Ranger Stop and Pop as well, and a whole bunch other content. So make sure you stay for that because Nakia gives you a huge breakdown. That will be in the second hour. This hour, though, we are turning up because we have a huge show for y'all. We will be talking about the reboot of the Power Rangers, everything you need to know, and everything that's coming out when it comes to Power Rangers, the reboot. And starting off, we're going to kick it off to Daniel. Daniel, what's everything that the casual viewer needs to know or everything you know right now about the Power Rangers reboot?
It's honestly not a lot. I mean, there's a little bit of it. I can go on a little bit of history lesson. Do you want to do a little bit of history lesson?
Yeah, this is everything.
How we got here?
Yeah, let's go on how we got here and then move forward.
So it kind of starts with the movie back in 2017. So the movie didn't put out as much money as Saban had wanted. It did okay, kind of criticism or critics wise. It did okay at the box office, but where he expected to make his money was the merchandise, right? So obviously that's what kind of got the sale from going from Saban to Hasbro, right? Well, when Hasbro bought Power Rangers, one of their first things they put out was that it was in 2018 that they were going to continue the Power Rangers universe established in that 2017 movie. And I don't know if you guys have like kept up with those cast members since then, but each one of them have become like huge stars. Like there's no way they're ever coming back to Power Rangers now. Any of them. Like you got Dacre Montgomery, who's been on Stranger Things, he's been Elvis. He's making his own movies now, and he's going to be in Star Wars coming up as well. We got Becky G, who is my love and savior. So yeah, she's huge. She's one of the biggest Latina musical artists in the world right now. You got Naomi Scott. She went off to be, Princess Jasmine. She was really big in Smile too. And then RJ Cyler, who's been in a bunch of HBO projects. He's on all the different kind of series. And then Ludi Lin, of course, you guys know is Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat now. So they've all been. There's no way they can get any of those cast members back. Right before the pandemic hit, they said that basically they were going to scrap it all and they were going to do a movie. And at that time, we heard the movie was going to be like time travel. So it was going to deal with the new set of future Power Rangers that were going to come back to the past and help the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So they were going to integrate two teams into one movie. And then we heard that movie was going to be a series. We heard it was going to be a series. And then we heard it was gonna be a movie again. And then they were just like, we don't know. And so they hired a showrunner. Oh my god, I can't remember. Jenny Klein. They hired Jenny Klein as showrunner, and they hired the guy that directed Cobra Kai. His name escapes me. Not Cobra Kai. Yeah, Whistle. That's right, Whistle. They hired him to write the series, right? And then the pandemic hit, and then it just sat forever, man. It sat forever. Now I heard some things behind the scenes, and I know some people don't necessarily know. Okay, I got some inside info on it, but some people don't agree with my inside info. But it's like, this is what I got. There's nothing I can do about it. But basically, what I was told was that, Whistle wasn't, even though like he signed on to do it, he was never really interested in doing it. And he kind of might have used it as a propeller to get him to Karate Kid, the Karate Kid Legends. So what I heard is he didn't do much that Hasbro was happy with. So this was supposed to be a Netflix series. We were hearing it to be like a 1 hour episodes, like 10 episodes. It was to be like more dramatic than what we've heard, like we've had in the past. Obviously, we've always had the 30-minute campy kid show aimed towards 4-year-olds to 10-year-olds. That's always been the demographic. This was going to bring us into a new demographic, and a lot of the things we were hearing at the time was like Stranger Things kind of ideas, kind of like young adult show. Riverdale was a big one that I remember they were talking about. It was gonna be very Riverdale-ish, is what I was being told. So we get to that. They let the contracts expire for both Jenny Klein and Whistle, and then a couple months later, it was TV Line basically put out an article that said that the Netflix series for Power Rangers was dead, and that Hasbro was going to be shopping it around. I know Twitter or X insider or Power Rangers insider Jinsaku had said a couple different things, like Paramount was going to be a thing, which a lot of us were actually really happy with Paramount because they were like, they were doing really well with Sonic. Paramount Plus, they're investing a lot of money into it and put a lot of projects on Paramount Plus. So we were like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, they seem to care about their projects. Obviously they have Transformers, so they know how to deal with robots, even though we kind of, when they went to Hasbro, we kind of said the same thing, but they didn't really do a good job on the Megazords, but whatever, whatever. It is what it is, but it was kind of like, we were kind of excited about it. Then we got an article, what was it, in March? In March of this year from the Wrap. And basically what it said was that Power Rangers was going to go to Disney Plus Hulu. The 20th Century division, the part that used to be the Fox division, was going to produce it with Hasbro still backing the series. So Hasbro was going to finance the series, and Disney Plus Hulu was going to be the platform that it streamed on, right? So we were hearing that it was going to be a new take on Power Rangers, and the big thing that we heard was that Toei was not going to be involved. And for those of you guys who don't know, Toei is the ones that create Super Sentai, all the series and stuff like that. So this was going to be all original Power Rangers footage, akin to the 2017 movie. Was probably the last time we had it. Even Cosmic Fury was still kind of blended, even though it was original suits, it wasn't Super Sentai suits. But we were hearing that the showrunners was going to be Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Schatz, who are the current showrunners for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which is currently playing on Disney Plus. So I think that's where we're getting the connection of the Disney Plus Hulu or the Disney platform, because they already have a relationship. So I kind of think it just, and this isn't news, it's just me just kind of like figuring it out. But it was like, Hasbro went to Disney and said, hey, we got this. Do you have anybody that's interested in it? And they go, let's ask our people around. And it was probably Dan Schatz and Steinberg, like, hey, we kind of do a young adult drama right now. This is something we deal with powers and gods and fighting and action. Like, this is something that in their wheelhouse. And I'm guessing that's probably how it happened, is kind of like, who here would work on this? And they were like, probably me, so since then we have not heard a lot more. We did get a Production Weekly listing. So Production Weekly is a trade magazine that people in the industry can go look at for jobs, and one of those was Power Rangers would begin shooting in January of 2026 in London. So they're really getting hiring. So that tells me that if they're getting ready to shoot in London in January, which I could see being pushed back a little bit because they're still filming season 3 of Percy Jackson and Olympians. I don't even think season 2's come out yet. So they're filming season 3 right now. I know that because Daphne King got casted And hey, Daphne King, but so no, I just know. Actually, they were talking about it. We were at San Diego Comic Con. I went to the Percy Jackson panel to see if they would by chance talk about Power Rangers, but they didn't. But they just said that they were going to start filming season 3 like the next couple of weeks from then. And I've already seen behind the scenes production photos from Percy Jackson that's been in the trades like Variety and stuff like that. But yeah, so that tells me if we're starting in January, or at least planning to start in January, then they have an outline, they probably have a design, and they probably start. I think if they're going to start casting probably here pretty soon, like the next couple of months, and we'll probably start hearing news here. I think probably like maybe late November, maybe December, if the January start date stays in place. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Hopefully we get some news soon. I don't think we'll get news until they get closer to wrapping season 3 of Percy Jackson. So, I mean, I believe that they're writing it and working on it while they're doing it, but I know those showrunners are very heavily involved in their production. Like, they don't just, like, hand it off to the directors or to the crew. They're there on set and stuff like that. So, I'm kind of thinking, like, they may be working on it, but they don't have that full attention to their done wrapping the season of season 3. So, that's kind of where we're at right now. We haven't heard too much. Right now, a lot of people are confusing the Ninja Kids thing that's coming out soon with the Disney Plus. I've been trying to make sure, like in all my posts and all my videos, to distinguish the two. They're different things. But the Ninja Kids is kind of a separate thing that's coming out here soon. But that's gonna be a YouTube series, web series.
Hey, I can't wait for that either, man. That's gonna be pretty dope because I love the designs that they're using. They're using Toku J's designs, which is pretty dope. And I do believe you're not far from your assessments, because if they're gonna begin filming in London January 2026, then they got to start casting now, if anything. Yeah. So I think we're gonna hear some type of casting announcement soon. So my next question,
it could be like the thing like how Amazon Prime does it and Disney Plus. Like there's no like casting. How do you put it? We hearing this person may be up for casting. Like they just like we sign and dot the line they're there. Like especially with like Amazon Prime. Like this one day there's like Henry Cavill is gonna be in Highlander. Just one day, just out of nowhere. Nobody even like thought that was a possibility. You know what I mean? And even with Disney Plus, they're like, hey, we've already started production, but Daphne King's now in our show. So it's just like they just. I think they sign and cast very quickly. So it may happen literally like weeks before they start production. But what we should be seeing kind of soon is like scouting, like hey, there was a production crew out here, they were looking at something, or there was a crew member that took a picture of a set that's being built. Like that's what I think we're gonna start getting first.
I think you're on point, man. I'm not even gonna lie. And if you're not following Legacy of the Nerd Man, what are you doing? Honestly, what are you doing with yourself? Make sure you follow him, because anything he drops, any updates, any coverages, we will be reacting to it live here on the podcast. So make sure y'all follow him to get the news first, and make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, because we will be keeping up to date with all of that. But now let's go into the Power Rangers question, and I want to ask both of you gentlemen this. This is going to go into our first segment, and which will be, what do you think the key ingredients will be for not only this show to be a successful financial hit, because we know it got to be financially successful, especially with Disney Plus putting this type of money towards it, because we know Percy Jackson has a budget about $12 million to $15 million an episode. So if they're going to do some type of production like that for Power Rangers, this will be the most expensive Power Rangers project we have ever seen, aside from the 2017 movie. It will rival almost that movie. So my question to you gentlemen is, what key ingredients do they need, not only for it to be successful, but to bring in a new audience? Because we know, like, fans like myself, yourself, everybody in the chat. Oh, shout out to everybody in the chat. Bingus, Starfire, Benji, Lord Zed. Shout out Shane. Shout out Command Center. Shout out to everybody. And also, we have a giveaway for y'all. We will be giving it away. Episode 3. This is the signed Megazord from Steve Cardenas, the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger, and the Blue Zeo Ranger. So make sure y'all lock in. And all you got to do, man, is very simple. Just support. Just comment, chat with people in the chat and things like that. I can't see how many we got in here, but I do see the chat. Facts. Make sure y'all follow him. BK was good. Make sure y'all follow him. Show some love. Now, my question to y'all, my fault. I'm gonna repeat it real quick. What do you think will the key ingredients be for this to be not only financially successful, but also to bring in a new core audience?
Let's go. You want me to go first, or
Or you're the guest. Be my
okay,
guest.
okay. I think the way that media works right now, and you guys feel free to disagree with me, but there's got to be some virality around it, right? So and it's just the way that things work right now. So look, I think the best example to look at things is Wednesday season 1. I don't know if you guys remember, it was like 2022 ish.
Yeah.
How big Wednesday got with that dance, exactly, and someone, it wasn't even the song in the show, but someone paired the Lady Gaga song with it, and it became a viral moment. Stranger Things season 4, where they're in the hell dimension, and they have that song playing in the background and stuff like that. Like those were things that were huge for series to become even bigger, right? Like it has to have that virality moment. It has to have something in there that where they can put in, less than a 2-minute video, and people will be like, "Holy crap, where is that from? I want to go watch that." Because being realistic, long form media is getting harder and harder to keep people's attention, right? I know, and we're of the generation. I don't know if you guys may be a little bit younger than I am, but we come from where, like, we were excited for a 4-hour Avengers Endgame movie. You know what I mean? Like we watched through all 12 hours of the Lord of the Rings original trilogy with the extended versions and stuff like that. We love that, but the younger generation now doesn't so much. It's quick bursts of information being thought at them, and then have something that they're like, okay, wow, this is cool. Then they're willing to go in to watch longer form media. Like look at Millie Bobby Brown. She can't even sit through her own movies, and she makes them. Like that's the exact like analogy of this generation of people. And that's how the big thing is. That's how you bring in new fans is through short form media, right? Now I'm not saying like they need to go and make a bunch of a movie just centered around TikTok or Reels or something like that. I just say they need to have moments in there that they know they're going to connect with the larger audience, and almost like in an epic way, right? Because this is also a pre-established series, and I think the problem we're going to have with this is maybe something similar to like we've had with Star Wars, where people who've been Star Wars fans for what, since the 70s, since 1977, they come in with what they want, right? But what they want is what they want, and it's not for the general audience, right? So it's a show that's got to be made for an overarching audience and for casual fans as well, not for the very niche fan like myself. Like I think I'm probably one of the few of the niche Power Ranger fans that understands like the show has never really been for me. It's always been for a younger child, right? I just enjoyed it along the way, right? So I think they need to know how this audience needs to appeal to older people, because we all know like at some point watching Power Rangers like became not cool, and probably most of us were kind of hit it for a while, and nerdom didn't really become popular until what, like 2014 2015. It wasn't really cool to be a nerd before then. All of us knew, like all of us, it was like those Kevin Smith video, when he was the thing in Clerks, like how many people are like, is Luke Skywalker a mass murderer because he killed all the people? Like we were asking ourselves those questions, but not everybody else was asking those questions until like 2014 2015, right? Like especially with the Marvel boost, like that really kind of helped things come along in the return of Star Wars. But yeah, to answer, I answered your question a really long way, but what it needs is to connect with the younger audience. It needs to have viral moments, and it needs to be able to connect with the audience of an expanded view rather than just kind of the narrow view that it's had recently. The good thing that Power Rangers has for it is that, being a Power Rangers content creator, or at least Power Rangers focused content creator, I've seen people tell me like kids don't watch Power Rangers. Kids absolutely do watch Power Rangers.
A lot of them.
Yes, they do, and they, you can go talk to. Well, I don't recommend just go talk into a random kid, but go talk to a kid that and say like, do you know what Power Rangers is? And ask them, and most of them will either say the most recent or Mighty Morphin. That is always going to be their two answers. So whatever has been the most recent on, or Mighty Morphin. So like there's a whole generation that loves Ninja Storm, but they also know what Mighty Morphin is. And I know there's a lot of the fandom. They're like, we just love, samurai, why don't it's too much Mighty Morphin. He's like, Mighty Morphin sells. So like, it's always going to be Mighty Morphin, right? But like, that's what everybody knows too. So even if you came in as a Megaforce fan, you still know what Mighty Morphin is because that was put in front of you as well. So that's a long way to answer.
Hey, I love it, man. That's what the podcast is for, to give people them breakdowns, and that's what we're here for. Jay, go ahead and talk to us.
Well, first off, I'll say I don't know many people who just started off saying Megaforce is my injury point and that's my favorite. Not to say like because I guess more people from the fandom are more disappointed about the fact that Megaforce, or I should say Super Megaforce, was not Gokaiger. I hear a lot of people who really like Samurai, but I was thinking that what we need to make it successful, and I do believe you're right. Like we definitely need that kind of viral moment to kind of get the younger generation in. But to connect the old fans with the new, I also think that, and this is just my personal opinion, so I hope I don't want to upset anybody, but the Neo Saban era, like we kind of got into, like Power Rangers as a franchise has always been just a little bit kind of hokey, a little bit for children, but it matured a little bit like past Mighty Morphin as we got to like, of course, like In Space and like Lightspeed Rescue. It had elements to it where we stopped kind of dealing with like teenagers who were like goody two shoes. To an extent they had like young adults who were, but I think we need that kind of grit that the movie had. I mean, there were elements of the movie that worked that I think that would really translate into like a short series, like 10 episodes or something like that. And we have to stop talking down to the audience, even though it's a show intended for kids, or you're trying to still market the toys. I think that I think about us growing up watching like the In Spaces, the Lightspeed Rescues, the Ninja, all those different ones. Like they didn't talk completely down to us. They didn't make it like an after school special every episode. And I think that you want to have like real teenagers, if you're going that route, with attitude, real drama, real life kind of things that people can kind of connect and relate to. And then I think from there you can get those really good viral moments. It might be a situation where there's like a really good fight scene where someone does something. It could be someone's throwing some like serious shade, and that moment goes like viral because they say something epic. If you think about X-Men '97 and the Milky Way ghetto comment or something like that went viral. Like I feel like you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I haven't thought about that in a second. Yeah.
But I'm like, it's just you need those kind of moments in addition to like really good writing, great storytelling, and I think it could actually be a hit. Like with the it's if it's going to be on Disney Plus, like that already kind of gives itself an audience in it, to hopefully kind of catch on to it. But I would say like you just have to have some really solid writing with some really good characters, some good storylines, and don't treat people like they're like kids, because I think that it's not going to latch on if it's going to be an after school special. And we're not going to try to, you can have the element of Mighty Morphin, but you don't want to go so far into it that you're trying to make a replica of it. And I think that's kind of what Neo Saban really, leaned into, and that's why it wasn't, I should say like Samurai, like you don't need a Vulcan skull on every show. You don't need to have like an after school, we shouldn't litter, or, whatever kind of lesson. I think you need to just have teenagers dealing with real things so that people can actually connect to those characters and then get the viral moments from there.
And I think
You're
both
right.
of you gentlemen are right. Go ahead, my fault. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and I think the big thing is, I think it's not talked down about anybody that's worked on Power Rangers, but a lot of I've talked to a lot of people that have worked on Power Rangers, and it was a job. Like it was just a job, right? It was them, getting a paycheck. And I think if you get someone like Jonathan Steinberg and Dan Schatz that go in there and be like, we want to care about this. We want to make this as amazing as we can. I'm not saying that they previous crews and writers and actors didn't want to make it amazing, but they were also pigeonholed, right? So they
Yeah.
were also like, you got to do this, you got to do that, and a lot of this was the contracts with Toei and stuff like that, which I've learned a little bit about the last couple of months. But I think you need going in there and saying like I think a lot of people are saying like they want cameos and stuff in the new series and stuff like that. And I was like, you don't necessarily have to have cameos, but there's a way to honor the things that come before to make something new. You know what I mean? So I think it's just going in there like, hey, we're not just gonna do like a monster of the week thing, which obviously is ingrained in Power Rangers, DNA, but we're going to like go in there and we're going to like make you care about this one monster as well. You know what I mean? Like taking it to the next level. And as much as I've always thought that they should make a show like what they're going to make now and keep the regular show on for kids as well. Like I've always thought there should be two shows on at the same time, because obviously the other show has done something well enough that was on the air for 30 years, right? Like it was doing something right in that aspect. At the same time, a lot of the fans grew up. A lot of the fans, it's just like Star Wars, X-Men, Marvel, DC. Like they wanted to see more things that relate to them and like relate to us at our age as well. And I think going in and seeing Power Rangers as something a little bit more serious, like 2017, it was a really really good start. Assuming that you were going to have more movies, like if you had a movie already filming in production, I would have been more happier with the 2017 movie because that movie was very dependent that there was going to be more movies. There was 8 movies planned, right? But they didn't start. They weren't starting on anything. They were waiting to see how that did. And like the biggest complaints was, there's not enough snoot time. There's not enough suit time. There's not enough action. It's all build up to this, one action scene. And I agree with people that say that it was they were just assuming they were going to automatically have a second movie, and that's nothing with this series. Even with the season one, like they need to go just kind of like how Strangers. I not see this is why I need to be Fleeboy. This is how Stranger Things was too, but they put all their love into that first season to assume that they weren't going to get a second, right? Like that first season could stand alone, Stranger Things by itself.
Yeah.
And I think that's what even Wednesday, like I know they kind of like tease more at the end of Wednesday, but that season could have stand on itself as well. So they need to treat that as well. Like we get one shot, we got to do this right. We need to, we got to show people that we care about this, and we got to show people, that they can care about this as well.
And I think both of you gentlemen had strong points in both of your takes, right? Because for one, you need to relate to the core fan base as of right now. Somehow, some way, we all matured. So I don't necessarily see them going full mature Power Rangers, but I do see an element of like Cobra Kai or something like that. And I think that's what made Cobra Kai so popular to the audience, because a lot of people looked at it like, yo, this is Power Rangers without the suits. And I think, if they invoke that, that would be pretty dope. I do think, me personally, I've always been in it for the mechs, for the Zords. Like Zords from Gundam, even before Power Rangers, Gundam, Ronin Warriors, stuff like that. All of that stuff was my Power Rangers before Power Rangers. And then when Power Rangers finally hit, I think the reason why it hit so big in the 90s, because it gave us a live action of stuff we was already into, like kaijus and Zords, and combining the two. So I think, my biggest problems with the 2017 movie, I always say 3 things: Goldar design, Alpha's design, and the Zords. And I could have lived with the Zords, but it's like the Megazord is so iconic and so classic that you could have found a way to make that look good instead of like, whatever the case may be. So I think visually, it has to be stunning. It has to be a stunning show, just like Percy Jackson is, because the monsters in Percy Jackson is really dope. The special effects is really dope. And like Shinosuke said, the story, I don't want it too mature because, you do want to target the kids. And I do agree with you, Daniel.
Young adult
Yeah,
audience.
I do feel like there should be 2 shows. I feel like whatever Jonathan Steinberg and Dan Schatz is cooking up, I feel like that should be their more focused show, right? And then I do feel like it's time for a Power Rangers cartoon or anime or something. You can do so much with that. You can cater to the kids. It could be so much bigger. And I do feel like the way Disney Plus is moving with Daredevil Born Again and being more mature, us getting Deadpool and Wolverine, you can get a little mature and deal with real life teenage problems that teenagers go through to this day and bring awareness to it. I'm not saying Euphoria type level or something like that, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying like, something like, maybe neglect or bullying or something like that, and that they deal with that kids can relate to and still have that superhero element to it. And like Daniel said, man, make us care about the villains as well and the monsters. I don't want weekly monsters anymore. Build something up. Build a universe. Build your big bad. If Disney knows how to do anything right, they know how to do that. Build up a big bad. So I think those are some elements. And also, I love the suits. Don't get me wrong, the Mighty Morphin suits, they would kicked everything off, but I think the lips got to go. I think we come to an age where the lips gotta go off the helmets, man. But those are my only things. Now, I do want to ask y'all, speaking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, leading to my next question for you, gentlemen. Daniel actually kind of alluded to it in his earlier statement about the success it would need. Everybody feels some type of way about Mighty Morphin now. At first, everybody's in Oz and hoorays and everything like that when they announced the Fortnite. It almost gave like Power Rangers a nice little revival when they announced the skins. And even with a lot of the Super Sentai and Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers TikTok stuff that they had with the song, with the Blicky song attached to it and things like that, you've seen like a more resurgence of Power Rangers lately. But a lot of fans are getting tired of Mighty Morphin for some reason. Even with the reboot, I've seen people talk about how they want to see a new team. And my argument to that is, I'm going to let y'all talk about it this second. We're going to start with Shinosuke. I want to talk about, just think about it, chat, and everybody watching right now. This probably is going to be the biggest marketing budget we've seen for any Power Rangers project besides the movie, right? What do you think the chairman or the people behind the scenes are thinking? Like, do we dump $150 million into a team we have no idea that the crowd is going to like or love? Or do we go the safe route and go with iconic characters like Tommy Oliver, Kimberly Hart, Zach Taylor, things like that? Like, do we go with characters that people not only know the suits, but also know the name and actual characters behind them? So I'm gonna go to you, Shinosuke. Do you think that the reboot should be based off the Mighty Morphin team, or do you think it's time for fresh faces and a fresh team?
It's a good question. I will say this. I didn't know if at first I thought you were going to ask if you thought they were going to just, adapt, if they should adapt Mighty Morphin. And I'm like, there's no way they're not. Like, with the toys and the marketing, the reignition, etc., they are going to capitalize off of that, the iconic, original team. So, as it relates to the characters, I think that in updating everyone, at this point, whether they use the characters' names or not, it's going to be a complete refresh. So it's not even a matter of like, you're not going to get an exact like retread of the original like five. I feel like, they can name them those names if they want to, but it's still going to be new. So I don't necessarily feel like they have to stick to the original team names. It's more so, when we really think about it and be real about it, it's really the suits and the colors, the primary colors, the Zords that people recognize. That is what they market the most out of. Like, we get the automorpher heads, we do have, like, we had the lightning collection, etc. But I think the actual, iconic thing that they're going to really focus on is really going to be more so just Mighty Morphin as a whole. So I think it'll probably be a new set of characters. And I'm okay with that, because I think a new set of characters for a new reboot with a new generation gives us all a fresh start. Therefore, you're not dealing with the whole issue of like comparing them to their counterpart from the original series. So I would probably be on the mindset that again, whether they want to keep the names or not, I feel like the characters are going to be swapped around. I also think that when we think about it like this, they're probably not going to do a black Ranger. They're probably not going to do an Asian Yellow Ranger. I think that they've kind of shied away from that, since it was a fake kind of controversy over it. And, the actors themselves have kind of dispelled that. I think Walter Jones has kind of spoken out about that. He actually leaned into, being the Black Ranger and didn't really find it offensive. But I just feel like from a marketing perspective, people probably will try to swap those colors up so that people aren't the same, So anyway, that's where I would say. I think that it doesn't really matter because it's going to be a refresh anyway. Whether they share the name or if they just have new ones, it's going to be a new character.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate that you say that, because I remember back in the day, Zach was our first black superhero on television at the time. Like, he embodied that role, and I understand why Walter felt like that, because it's like you're taking away from such an iconic moment, not only in history, because if you don't remember, I'm letting y'all know, on an average weekday, there was about 1 million people watching Power Rangers, rating-wise. Every Saturday, there was about 3.5 million people. Just to give y'all some type of, comprehension of what that is, the biggest Super Bowl game held 100,000 people, right? and I believe that was Pittsburgh or somebody. I could be wrong. Google check me. That's 100,000 people times 40 watching a show on a Saturday. That is huge. So in an era like that, I can understand why you say this was so iconic. But in a generation that's so woke and people are so sensitive nowadays, I can understand why. But Daniel, how do you feel about this whole scenario?
I think it's hard. So I think what they want to do is they want to go with something fresh, but I think it's just money talks, man, and it's hard when you know that Mighty Morphin continues to sell. And I've been in the fandom, and I know there's probably a lot of people in the chat. You're tired of seeing Mighty Morphin, and I get it, but Mighty Morphin just outsells every single other thing over and over and over and over and over again. I know being a content creator and seeing the comments and seeing what people comment on my stuff, not just on the YouTube videos, but on Instagram, on Facebook, on X. And I'm talking about, I probably get, I'm not even joking, probably get like a couple thousand comments a day on Power Ranger stuff. And there's people that says, I only mess with MMPR. That's the only thing I do. And I will only pick up MMPR toys. I don't care. I don't care if I have 10 of them. I'll pick up MMPR. That's the only thing. I'll never pick up Megaforce. I'll never pick up Jungle Fury. I'll never pick up Ninja Storm. It's just going to be MMPR. And I want to say that, well, that's not the fandom. Because the fandom, I think people need to understand something about the fandom. Like, our Power Rangers fandom is incredibly small. It is incredibly small compared to other fandoms. Compared to Star Wars, Marvel, DC, we are a very, very small niche fandom, right? Now, the people that know about Power Rangers is pretty big. Like, my wife knows about Power Rangers. Like, she knows what it is. She doesn't know what Super Sentai is. She didn't know the word. She didn't know. I just talked about it the other day with her about something else. I was like, do you know what Super Sentai? Do you know the word Super Sentai? She's like, or the phrase. She's like, no. What is that? I was like, that's a Japanese, where the Power Rangers came from. She's like, they came from Japan? And then she was like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the casual Power Rangers knowledge in the world. Like, that's not even just in America. That's all over the world. Because Super Sentai is just so strangleholded to Japan and Japan culture, right? So, to answer your question in a very long way, I would like to see something more original, because I would like to see Power Rangers stand on its own and distance itself from Super Sentai and do something more original. Do I think they will? No, probably not. Do I think they'll use Jason, Kimberly, Tommy, Billy, Zach, and Trini? Maybe. But I think with them going with something familiar would make more sense to them, right? So what's familiar right now is Mighty Morphin. Will it be the Toku J suits or something resembling that, or be the 2017? I really couldn't tell you. But I think the smart business move is to appeal to the wider audience than appeal to the smaller one.
Good answers. Good answers. I can't even lie to you, because you got to think about it. I do feel like I understand where they going, but we're at an age, right? Especially the main core Power Ranger fans. We're not stupid anymore. We know exactly what you want. We know exactly why you market us to the toys and things like that. And you know what I'm saying? And I think they should stray away from that and do it organically. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't make a suit or a Zord because you're thinking, all right, we can make toys out of this. Like, I think if you do it like story narrative wise and it comes out dope looking, we're gonna buy it regardless. Especially if it's something we enjoy. Like, oh nah, this is like, you're gonna sell out of a Green Ranger toy, a Red Ranger toy, Pink Ranger. And speaking of the Rangers, right, leading to my another question. We ain't got too much time. I promise these gentlemen an hour. So let's go into the fan casting. Because I do believe what's gonna really stand out the most is who's gonna be on this show. Who can they get to be on this show? And I did, just to give you one of mine, right? I think y'all seen my post on TikTok. My Pink Ranger, I felt like I seen the comments too, and I understand what y'all was saying. I don't want to elaborate too much on it. But the reason why I said Millie Bobby Brown would make a great Kimberly, right, is because she is somebody who can carry that show herself. Like, people are going to tune in because she is Kimberly. And the way, they gave Kimberly this different attitude. If y'all haven't read Kimberly in the comics, my God, she's a wonderful character. It's nothing like the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And even in the 2019 movie, you've seen like Kimberly's actual teenage attitude. You've seen like her embody that role. And I think Kimberly is a very fascinating character to lean on. And now, don't get me wrong, I do agree it has to be a team collaboration thing with all the characters, but I do feel like casting one person that you can get. Now, I know Millie Bobby Brown is doing a lot of big things and movie stuff right now, but she also is doing a couple of smaller projects. So it ain't out the realm of possibility. But for the gentleman here, give me your fan casting. We'll start with Daniel of the original Six Rangers. So you got Tommy, Jason, Zach, Billy, Trini, and Kimberly.
You want all of them? Okay, I thought he was only wanted a couple.
Matter of fact, let's do. I'll give you 3 colors, and I'll give Inosuke 3 colors. Shinosuke 3 colors. So I'll give you green, yellow, and black. I'll give you red, pink, and blue. Shinosuke. All right, so let's go.
Well, oh man, and I've seen the fan castings that they want Tanner Buchanan, the Robbie from Cobra Kai, and I think that the only thing I've seen, because I've been watching interviews. I watch so many interviews, guys, and I don't know if you guys. I study interviews all the time, just try to get better. But every time someone brings up Power Rangers to him, because it happens a lot to the Cobra Kai cast, he gets a face. So like he's like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, stop asking me about this. Like, it's that kind of face. And I'm like, I don't think he would ever do it. So I've seen that for Tommy a lot. I think casting is going to be very, very difficult. If it's going to be Tommy or a Green Ranger, I think I don't envy the person that gets cast as that, because it's going to be a lot of comparison to Jason David Frank a lot. And it's just going to be hard. I would almost think you would need to go unknown if you're going to do a Tommy. That'd be my guess. Would I had yellow and black, or
yellow and black?
Black Ranger, that kid from Cobra Kai. Oh my God, Dallas Dupree. I think that's his name. The actor. He's about the right age. He obviously has a skill. He was actually a really decent actor on Cobra Kai. Not everybody on Cobra Kai was a good actor. I thought he would be good. So I think out of all the Cobra Kai actors, I think he's the best fit for Power Rangers. If they were to cast someone from Cobra Kai. So if they were telling me like, we can have one person from Cobra Kai, who would you want? I would want Dallas Dupree. I think he'd be the best fit for the Black Ranger. And I know you guys say black on black, but it's just like, it works, dude. I don't know why. I just think it works. You know what I mean? So I would want him as my Zach and the Black Ranger. As far as Yellow Ranger, it kind of depends. I've seen her fit. People say she fits a lot more as the Pink Ranger, but Reina Valentinhan from Cobra Kai as well. She's gonna be in the upcoming Street Fighter movie as Junie. She's actually on set right now. I saw some behind the scenes photos, and she'd be good. Obviously, she has a skill as well. If you were gonna go outside of that, the thing is, I don't know a lot of the young super actresses, so I don't know, like, kind of like that 18 to 25 year range. I kind of deal with the more A-list actors in my content, but I would think she would be good. Again, I mean, there's different. I've seen a lot of people say different things in my comments. I've seen. I'm trying to think what else I've seen for Yellow. Oh my God, what's that girl from the Summer I Turned Pretty? Lola Tung. I think her name is Lola Tung. For her as a Trini, if they were to do Trini as an Asian woman, she'd be good. I've also seen her for Jubilee for X-Men. I thought that was cool.
She would be the. And I don't know, she might be a little older. But what's the girl?
She's 22. I checked before I put up the Jubilee thing on the post for her, because like, is she the right age range? And she's young still. So
I'm talking about this girl, right? I'm thinking of, it's I think Apple Plus, or it's an Amazon Prime show. Which one put out the Godzilla King Kong TV show? She was in that.
Apple Plus or
Apple put it out. She was in that, and she also was in Shogun. She was the interpreter.
Yeah, I think she's a little bit older though.
I think she killed Shogun. I like her, man.
I think like Anna Sawe or something like that. Anna Sawe.
Yeah, I
something
think
like that.
She would be dope.
She is 33.
Oh yeah, she's. I don't know. She might be.
Maybe for an X-Men down the road, MCU or something. But
but that's some good choices. I like them. Shinosuke, who you got? Oh, my fault.
I got a lot of people on Cobra Kai and it got in my head so much, so it's hard to get out. So I do need to. If you have suggestions, feel free to message me suggestions as well. If you're in
Well,
that
you
chat.
know which one I like for Kimberly too. She's actually a lot of people trying to cast her as or fan cast her as Gwen from Wednesday.
Emma Myers.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yep.
she looks really. If you see her natural hair, she looks like Kimberly. Like
Burnett.
if you see
Yeah.
her like naturally, she looks like a great Kimberly. Shinosuke, who you got?
okay. What were my colors again? Was it
Pink, red, and blue.
pink, red, and blue? Okay. Look, I am terrible with names and actors and actresses, so I kind of made myself like a little list, a spreadsheet earlier today. So blue again, I was going off the whole notion that they probably would do something kind of 2017ish, like and cast a black actor for that role, kind of how they did with Billy. So I actually chose Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things.
Okay.
He's only 23.
Mm.
And I mean, I actually, in my heart of hearts, I was looking at his photos like, man, he really make a good Zach. I'm like, I just like, there's a photo of him with a high top fade, and I'm like, this looks like straight out of the 90s. I'm like, he'd really kill
Yeah.
that. But I'm thinking like, for the name recognition, he might be available for this. I was thinking that he probably could pull off a nice Billy, just because he was a part of the nerdy crew of Stranger Things. He could kind of give that little cross world of like merging like the 2017 Billy with the modern twist now. And then for Pink, again, I struggled to find like actresses. So I was like just trying to find like what are young actresses that have been in things. And I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be on Disney. So I'm like, what if they like pull some of their Disney actresses? I chose Ruby Rose Turner, and apparently she was in like The Descendants. She's 19 right now. Now she is blonde, but like she kind of fits the bill. She has this like very, I don't know, sweet innocent vibe that I feel like would kind of fit the Kimberly, and she probably had the physicality to probably pull it off. And then what was the last one I had? Red.
Red, Jason. That was a tough one for me. I think I picked somebody from a Disney cast too, from High School Musical.
I
What
I
was the
chose
gentleman name?
yeah.
I forgot. He looks just like Jason though.
Okay, I went a different direction with that too. So for Red, I still stuck with the Disney, and apparently, like as I kept looking up young actors, a lot of like this show called Andy Mack. I've never watched it. Came up a lot. Has anyone heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I chose Luke Mullen from this show. I don't know him personally, but like I just kind of found a photo of him in like a kind of a he's in like a Flash high school jacket, but I could see him being that kind of leader, everyman, and opposite of someone or something like that. I think he probably would have the physicality to be able to kind of pull it off too. Um,
I
yeah.
hear Asher Angel a lot. That's the one I hear a lot. Is Asher Angel.
Oh, actually, I have him as well, but I have him as Tommy. That was if you told
Oh,
me.
so that's a good idea. I actually
I
like
had
that.
it as Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a good solid actor too. He's
Yeah.
getting a lot of fan casting for Nightwing right now though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I these are some of the ones I picked. I'll just go with the Red Ranger, but I think it was Jason Lee Scott. That was the one that I was going. Not Jason, Matt Cornett. I think that was the gentleman that I had. He's about 25. Matt Cornett. And he had like a red jacket on. When I seen it, I was like, my God, he looks just like he could play.
He's
He's been
27.
a bunch of like, look at him right here, right? This hold on, see if I can focus in on.
Yeah, I was looking at the picture now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would be a pretty good Jason. And then for the Yellow Ranger, there was a woman by the name of there was a woman, she's 26, and her name, she's Vietnamese. V Lay, I think is her name. Let me see. She was the only Vietnamese actress that I seen that's young enough, that's upcoming right now. And she looks like she could play a really dope Trini. This is her right here.
Okay.
And it's hard to find Vietnamese actresses, but I hope they do stay true to source material. If they go the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers route, if they don't, I'm cool with it. I do want to see a fresh take. And from some of the information that I seen them put out, they did say, the Rangers have been missing for X amount of time, and monsters are coming from the center of the earth or things like that. So I wonder if this new team, the Rangers that have been missing, is the Mighty Morphin team. And if they inherit their abilities, their powers, their Zords, and that I think that would be really cool and really dope. Now let us know in the comment section who you would cast at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or do you want a new team? Let us know in the comments. And now it's time. Now if you see a crown with a number 1 next to your name, that means you've been putting in work in the chat. You've been commenting. You've been so the more you chat with us in the comment section and give your feedback and stuff like that, I can actually see by the XP points that you get in the YouTube chat. So the more XP points you get, your chances on winning this Megazord. Even though that is not the only deciding factor, I am going to see who's here for the next 2 episodes. And episode 3, Jason Font will announce the winner himself. So he'll announce the winner himself, episode 3. That's October 20th. I hope to see y'all here, man. Y'all more than welcome to come through, man. It's going to be an awesome show. Next week, we do have my guy Bernard. He's going to be talking Power Rangers Prime. And we also have a pre-recorded interview. I'm still deciding. Let's put a poll in the chat. Can we put a poll in the chat, mods? Hold on, I'll do one, right? Let me put, who would you like to see? Who would you like to see? Because I got both of them pre-recorded already. Let's go Catherine, Kat, or Rocky. So we got a Catherine Sutherland interview, and we have a Steve Cardenas interview. So let me know who in the chat you would like to see. I'm putting the poll up now. And while y'all go with the poll, I'm going to announce, well, not announce, we're going to get into the last topic before we let you go, because we just hit the 2nd hour. So I know y'all excited to see the Nakia Bernice interview. All right, gentlemen, the last one. Everybody talks about their favorite Power Ranger and Power Ranger seasons, right? So I want to get y'all take right now. If we had to make a Mount Rushmore of Power Ranger shows, which is 4, who would be on your Mount Rushmore? What seasons? And if it's Mighty Morphin, would it be season 1, season 2, season 3? What seasons would be on this Mount Rushmore? What is your Mount Rushmore of Power Rangers? Who would like to go first? I'll go first. I'll give y'all time to think, right?
Okay, like I can give you one at a time. Like
go ahead. Take your thoughts. I'm gonna go with mine's. One for me, I gotta put right here, man. I know y'all gonna hate it. Mighty Morphin. It's what started everything off for me. Personally, y'all know my age. For those who don't, I'm 40 years old. I might not look it, but I'm up there, man. I'm 40 years old. So when Mighty Morphin came out, man, that was big for me. That was huge. I'm gonna be honest. I cried when I had to be the Blue Ranger for Halloween, because I damn sure wanted to be the Red Ranger. But unfortunately, it was all sold out, and I had to go with being the Blue Ranger. And to be honest, I liked it after that. But I'm gonna put Mighty Morphin up there. It's not just for nostalgia or because it's one of my personal favorites, just because what it did for the culture and how it pushed everything further. And they're so iconic in their own rights, whether it be, and mind you, I really fell in love with them during the Boom Studios. Shout out, rest in peace, Comic Storian. He was, I was watching one of his videos one day, and he did a cover on the Shattered Grid. And I said, wait, Tommy went evil? And Lord Draken became my favorite villain of all time. See the helmet? Y'all already know. If I own merch of the character, that means I love him so much, I'm going to spend that money on him. But Tommy Oliver, has always been my favorite character. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank. He embodied that role. He was the face of the franchise. So it's got to be Mighty Morphin. 2, I'm going to put SPD. SPD brought me back to the Rangers. When, like Daniel said, there was a time where I'm pretty sure if you're my age, you put Power Rangers down. You was either going to college, or you was doing something, or focused on a career. You was doing something where you didn't have time to watch even shows. Money came first, work. But then when I got back into it, SPD was one of the first episodes that I picked up going back into it. So I gotta put SPD up there for me. At third, to be honest, third was a hard choice for me, but I'm gonna go with Ninja Storm. I'm gonna go with Ninja Storm because I felt like those are some of the most OP Rangers of all, because they was trained like to be Rangers. They was like, my God, I would think that them and what is it, Jungle Fury, I think those are some of the most OP Rangers because they're designed and trained from young to be, and Samurai also. So someone like the Ninja Rangers, like they're not people who had to learn how to fight throughout the seasons or, just through hands. They was trained in martial arts all of their life to be these. Like Kimberly was just a gymnastic competitor, things like that. So I'm gonna put Ninja Storm up there. Now for my last choice, I know this ain't a popular one, but I'm gonna go Wild Force. The reason why I like Wild Force so much is because one, Forever Red. I thought that was like just crazy to see. So for that to have such an iconic arc in it is just amazing and iconic in its own right. So yeah, that would be my 4. I'm going Mighty Morphin, SPD, Ninja Storm, and Wild Force. Who's next? That was tough. Don't kill me in the comments. If I left your favorite, if I left In Space or Lost Galaxy or any of the other ones out, man, I'm sorry, but those are my joints, man. And let us know yours in the comment section also. Spam them.
You want me to go?
Yeah,
you
do.
ready?
Yeah.
You said me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Shinovsky.
Okay. Oh gosh. So let me see. Yeah. If you're doing a Mount Rushmore, like I do have to give the respect to Mighty Morphin. So definitely that's going to be a pillar. It's a foundation. Without that there are no others. So that's a given. However, I'm also going to add. I want to put what I call Mighty Morphin like refined, and I'm going to say Dino Thunder. Because I really feel like they kind of really refined the formula of Mighty Morphin. Like you got the real teenagers with attitude, and you had an OG legacy character in Dr. Tommy Oliver coming back for that. I am also going to say, for me, I personally love like one of my favorite ones. I just remember when it was airing live, like was Time Force. Like I Time Force is just like that for me. I don't like I have a poster above me somewhere like Time Force. Anyway, Time Force. And then let me see. That's really 3 right now. So I guess I have.
Those are good ones too. Even critically wise, you got some of the highest critical Power Rangers that IMD put out.
Oh well, it was just a good story.
I respect it. Like those are goats.
Like
Those are
Sentai
goats.
had a really strong story, so it's good. The last one, it's a really hard choice. Let me see. So if I had Mighty Morphin by default, Dino Thunder, Time Force. I'm gonna go with. Actually, I'm gonna go with Ninja Storm. I also really enjoyed that. I, for some reason, really kind of like enjoyed the characters. I really love Kira. Like she kicked the whole team's, the episode where they were all kind of brainwashed, and she was able to kind of hold her own against the team. But you know what? The more I say that, the more I'm kind of like, gosh, I want to say in space or something too. So let me not. I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop.
all right. So that's your 4.
Day. Just know that my Mount Rushmore has like a hidden like false statue. So if you chip it on any given moment, another's gonna fall off and another's gonna reveal itself. It's gonna be like a Russian doll statue. Rushmore.
Hey, honorable mention. That's fine. All right, Daniel, give us your Mount Rushmore. I know people are gonna be interested to know yours, man. This is big right here. This is big.
My thing has always been Mighty Morphin season 3. Like I feel like that was Mighty Morphin at its peak. Like that was when it was hugest, right? It was after the movie. My favorite Zords, set of Zords, are the Ninja Zords. Those I used to play with the Falcon Zord all the time, just by itself. I had the little, not the deluxe one, but the little one. I had that playing around all the time. I feel that was just big to me. I would have to go. I think the best season of Power Rangers that there's ever been is Lost Galaxy. I just that And even talking with some of the cast members of what they like, the things that they were changing throughout the season, and still made probably one of the best series in Power Rangers. We had, Ranger die for the first time. The Psycho Rangers came back. Like, we actually technically two Rangers died if you count Mike as well. He died in the first episode. He was supposed to be the Red Ranger, and then you had the Magna Defender die. They killed a kid with with the Magna Defender's kid. They killed him too. I mean, like, or he was already dead, but you know what I mean. Like, we had a dead kid involved. Like, I think that was peak Power Rangers, where they're like, we're just gonna do whatever we can. We're gonna make the best story as possible. You guys said it too, I think is maybe for my own reasons is Ninja Storm. We had two warring Ranger teams for a while. We had the Thunder Rangers and the Ninja Storms. They're going against each other like that. I thought that was really cool. I even liked the Gerbil. I'm not. I know people hate on it. I like the talking Gerbil. I like Cam coming out and being the Destined Samurai Ranger that they were supposed, the Green Samurai Ranger, and having a lot of allusions to the original Mighty Morphin Green Ranger. And if you guys have heard of the Hexagon rumor that's been around for years, where there was supposed to be Tommy versus Jason and two warring teams. I think that would have been perfect for a callback. But I like it for its own reasons. I think Cam is a really cool Green Ranger. We kind of dealt with some serious topics in Ninja Storm, and it was our first Disney season, so Disney was actually like, we care about what's going to happen here. So I thought Ninja Storm is one of my favorites as well. I'm gonna go totally left field on this one, and you guys would probably get a lot of hate in the chat about it, but I even said it when it came out. But Dino Fury season 2 is a very, very, very good season. It is. There's a lot of callbacks. There's cameos. There's honoring the Rangers that came before, and we had a Red Ranger, Zato, who I think is arguably in the top 3 of Red Rangers of all time, sacrifice himself for the entire world. And we had our leader die to save everyone. And not only that, he comes back as as a Morphin Grid angel at the last second of the series. Yeah. So like that, I think Zato is one of the best Red Rangers that's ever had. I still argue that Andros is the best Red Ranger we've ever had, even though I'm not ranking In Space in there, but because he obviously saved the universe single-handedly, apparently, but by killing Zordon. I tell Chris he's the Zordon Slayer all the time. So like. And I call Justin. I call him. He's the Ranger Popsicle. But yeah. So that's probably my 4. I know probably get a lot of hate about the Dino Fury season 2.
Hey,
that was a very good season.
Dino Fury was pretty dope, and I really enjoyed Cosmic Fury too. I love that Power Rangers team, and I'll argue with anybody. We can go on live. I think Cosmic Fury is probably hands down the strongest Power Rangers team we ever got. Like, bro, their abilities was just insane. The black hole stuff and all that stuff that they was doing, like, that's pretty powerful stuff, man. But
we go chronologically too. Zato is technically the very first Red Ranger to ever exist.
True. Yes.
Yeah. True. So he has years of experience. I think they'll wash your favorite Power Rangers team. But that's for another show, man. Daniel Shinosuke. I do appreciate y'all brothers for joining me on this. I had such a great time with y'all. I would love to have y'all back on the show whenever you're available. Heroes, villains, if you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, definitely make sure that's the giveaway will be the 3rd episode, and that will be with Young Sage and Jason Font. Make sure you tune in, click that notification bell. And Jason Font did tell me he was going to give me a bunch of 8x10s to give away. I think 8x10s. I'm not sure. Let me correct that. But I do want to tell y'all, he did not say how many. So I can't sit here and promise, hey, I'm going to have 3. I'm going to have 4. He could give me 1. He could give me 2. But big shout out to Command Center. I am giving him one of them. I'll find out for sure on the 15th, because it's going to be pre-recorded on the 15th. So by then, we'll already have picked a winner for the Megazord. Things like that, but I do appreciate that. Means be here episode 2. Episode 2 is going to determine who wins the Megazord, to be honest with you. So please don't forget, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe for everything Power Rangers. We're going to continue to do this weekly. I'm going to have a bunch of content creators. I got a couple of lined up. I think Film Studios, if you watch him, he does a lot of Super Sentai stuff. There's a lady, man, I forget. What's the lady's name we talked about, Shinosuke?
Beauty Baba Guy. I always mess
Oh,
up
yeah.
my.
We got her lined up. We got my boy Crash Out Cryptic. Big shout out to Crash Out Cryptic. We got Spash the Visionary. We got a bunch of content creators coming through, man. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm not trying to push y'all into getting a subscription. I mean, getting a membership. But if you do, we got special videos from Corey Wilder. Right now, he's in Gacha Yakuza. He's in a whole bunch of other animes. We have Jason Page. He sings the theme song for Gotta Catch 'Em All, Pokemon. And also we got Bruce Elliott. He is the voice of Whitebeard from One Piece. So we're going to be doing some exclusive stuff on there. So if you want to get a membership, link is somewhere in the description. I do appreciate y'all for coming through. Stay for the Nakia Bernice interview happening up next. Hey, gentlemen, man, thank y'all so much, man. It really means a lot to me, for real. Daniel, we're gonna link up, man. Thank you so much for coming through. Give me a follow on Instagram or something so I can stay in touch with you, Daniel. That way, in case anything, if I can get you come back to the show for the reboot when it comes out, I would love to get your initial reactions on it. Shinosuke, you already know. I'll catch y'all. And big shout out one time, Ashton Flame and Lord Zed TV. They made the skit that I'm about to show y'all right now as Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed watching the podcast. We're going to do a lot more skits in the future for transitions and the outro. We got a lot of stuff cooking for y'all. As always, love yourself, pass that love on, and love others. And if nobody told you so, just know your boy love you. May the power protect you. Signing out from the Morphin Grid, Voice of the Heroes podcast. Daniel, Shinosuke, thank y'all so much. I'll catch y'all, man. Y'all have a great night.
All right, you too. Thank you.
What do you think you're doing?
Looking at this new podcaster on my iPhone. He looks pretty good.
Give me that!
Just get no fun.
So let's just see what this is all about, huh? Another Power Ranger podcast. Let's see. It's always about the Power Rangers. Never about the villains.
Hey guys, this is Jason Douglas.
Zada MacArthur, voice of Yuji Itadori.
This is Derek Snow, the voice of Shinra Kusakabe.
This is Phil Parsons, voice of Kenny the Ripper Ackerman.
It's a Merc new one. You're watching Voice of the Heroes. Take it away, Fleeboy.
What's good, everybody? You already know who it is and what it is. And if you don't, it's the one and only one, FleeboyJetson. And if you're tuning in for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming interviews or discussions from your favorite heroes and villains. And before we get started with today's episode, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, G Fuel and Into the AM. Make sure you use promo code Fleeboy to get, a nice little percentage off. Now, I'm not even going to lie to y'all. Today, we got a guest. She is one of one. And everybody knows Power Rangers is a multi-generational global phenomenon. From the first It's Morphin Time to countless battles against evil, Power Rangers have been a symbol of hope and friendship. It reminds us that strength isn't just about fighting monsters. It's about standing together and uplifting each other and never giving up when the world needs you most. And our guest today has ushered in those qualities through the decades of carrying on the legacy of the Yellow Zeo and Turbo Ranger Tanya. She has also provided her talents in shows like Moesha, Nash Bridges, Bones, voice acting in all over the Barbie franchise. My God, has even written and produced Class Dismissed, the movie, which you can stream right now on Peacock, Amazon Prime, and Tubi. She's also a CEO, writer, voice actress, producer, and co-host of Power Rangers Playback. Let's welcome Nakia Burrise to the show. How you doing today?
Wow, I love that introduction. Thank you so much. That was so sweet.
Well, you deserve it. This podcast and this platform is to give you, your flowers for all the work that you put in over the years and to recognize you as a staple in the Power Rangers community. You are, like I said, one of one to me and so many others. And man, just an icon in your own right. Now, we don't have Tanya for too much, Nakia, for too much time. So we're going to get right into it. Now, cons have become a huge thing, right? With Rangers Stop and Pop and Morphin Con and things like that. I want to ask you, right? What has been like your favorite city or country to travel to?
Wow, that's great. Yeah, conventions have become really big, and I don't know if you knew or not, but I did own a convention that we just sold this year. Ranger Stop and Pop was
No
uh
way you sold it?
yes, a convention that Karen Ashley, myself, and Michael Bioni owned for 7 years, and decided to sell just because we have so many other things that we're doing, and running a convention does take a lot of time. But yes, so I would definitely say that my own convention was definitely a lot of fun in Atlanta. But in addition to that, I would say traveling wise, of course, I loved traveling to Europe. You know, we did MCM, Kat and I, we were able to be there for our 40th birthday. We were actually there with Jason David Frank. That was 2019. And then we also got a chance to go to Scotland, did a convention in Scotland. So I would say the overseas cons have just been amazing because we get a chance to get out of the state of, the United States of America and get to explore in other countries. So those have been really great. But in state, there's a lot of really, really great cons. I don't know that I can specifically point out one in particular, but I've most of them that I've gone to have been really, really fun.
That's fantastic. So Europe must be where it's at. Now, Tanya in the Power Rangers show, right? She has amazing, excuse me, you have amazing singing talent. And did you ever get to, put in any input into that or write any of the songs?
That's funny that you asked. They actually had Tanya sing. So the producers had come into my dressing room and literally asked me, what are some of my hobbies? What do I do? And then they heard me singing in my dressing room. So that's why they made a couple of episodes of me singing. I didn't come up with the songs. I just went to they had written, because I mean, obviously they would have to give me rights to the songs if I was to write it. So no, we had writers who wrote the songs and produced them, the ones that I ended up singing inside of a song sung yellow. So no, they just heard me singing and said, we're going to make an episode or two of her singing. And the Rangers in the Outfield, they found out that I played baseball with the boys. So they made the episode Rangers in the Outfield and so forth. So yeah, I was really blessed that they would take my hobbies, what Nakia actually does in real life, and implement them into my character. That was really great.
That's amazing. Hey, I gotta give them their credit for that. Power Rangers, especially in the '90s and going into the early 2000s, got a lot of slack for the production and things like that, how things was ran. But I gotta give them their credit for the way they did your character, man. They did justice on that one. Now, Power Rangers is known for friendship and diversity. What moments of that type of representation on the show meant the most to you personally?
I think when I was on the show, I didn't really take it all in and understand how prevalent, relevant, and how much it really spoke to its audience until I started doing conventions. And so when I started doing signings and fans would come to me and tell me how much Power Rangers meant to them, how much standing up to a bully I did inside of an episode, what that meant to them, seeing a person of color that represented them made them feel like they could do anything that they possibly could. They see, oh, Nakia can do it, I can do it too. So friendship, diversity, all of the themes that Power Rangers represented, I think was just before its time to see superheroes and seeing people that look like you. I think in the 90s it wasn't as relevant and it wasn't seen as often. So Power Rangers really, really did an amazing job with making that an option for little kids, little brown kids. Little Asian kids, little, Hispanic kids. Like it's amazing that there were so many things that I didn't realize when I was on the show that Power Rangers had done for so many people. And that's one thing that I love about comic conventions because I get to hear these amazing stories, and I've cried with so many fans. I hear about me being inside of we were, as Power Rangers, inside of hospital rooms with so many people while they're having surgery. Like, we helped them get through their surgery. We helped them get through their illness. We helped them stand up to their bullies. We helped so many things. It's a blessing to be a part of the franchise.
Yeah, just hearing you talk gave me chills, man, because the amount of love and just that y'all put into the community as well. Like, y'all are one of the few franchises that actually give back to their community and really show up for your fans. And I gotta commend you for that, and every other ranger that actually, not is just an actor, but really dives deep into their community. Now, I do want to talk about the franchise moving forward, right? So I want to talk about the Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot, which will be filming, in London, January 2026. And some reports and rumors suggest that, this will probably be the biggest budget the franchise has ever seen, with episodes costing about 12 to $15 million. And the showrunners will be Jonathan Steinberg and Dan Schatz. For those who don't know, right now they're working on Percy Jackson and the Olympians on Disney Plus. What was your first reaction when hearing about the reboot?
Well, you just gave me more information than I've actually had. So I think it's a blessing that the franchise continues, because it lets the world know how important Power Rangers is. Like, the fact that this show aired in 1993 and continued on for 30 some odd years. The Super Sentai in Japan, I don't even know how long, maybe 50 years. I think it might even still be going. And the fact that it's being brought back, I think it's extraordinary. I'm looking forward to see who the cast is going to be and what the plans are for the franchise. I think it's amazing.
I'm looking forward to see what y'all do on Power Rangers Playback. I want to see some reaction videos to the new episodes and stuff, man. If y'all been living under a rock, man, and y'all haven't seen Kat and Nakia's Power Rangers Playback podcast, link will be in the description. I'm pretty sure y'all have, man. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so much to talk about, but we got so little time. So I want to ask you another question about the reboot, right? What do
Okay.
you think will, from a business standpoint, right? What do you think will be the best course of action? Rebooting the Mighty Morphin original team, or going with a whole new team? Because, like I said, this is probably going to be one of the biggest budgets we've seen, 100 and maybe $25 million put into this. So you think they're going to go with the safe bet with the Mighty Morphin? Because, whenever something comes out like Fortnite skins or comic books or something, it's always, no disrespect to the franchise, but it's always Mighty Morphin that gets the shine than any other team. So do you think they're going to go with the safe route, or you think they're going to take a chance with a new team? Or what would you do?
I think they are going to probably do Mighty Morphin. I appreciate, finally we're going to have Zeo Funko Pops in 2026, because I go to conventions and I have to get them custom made. I have to get pops custom made, because there's nothing but MMPR. MMPR has multiple Funko Pops, every iteration, puzzles. Like, there's so much Mighty Morphin. But that's where it started. It started in Mighty Morphin. So I have to respect that and understand that. But there were so many more seasons, you know.
It
um,
is.
yeah, so many more seasons. So, I would assume that they're probably going to start with Mighty Morphin. I would think that they need to listen to what the fans want as well. And the fans are going to want some kind of nostalgia. They're going to want some original actors coming back. And I felt like that's what was missing. One of the things that was missing from the 2017 movie. Yes, JDF and Amy Jo were on screen for a whole 10 seconds with taking a photo in the 2017 movie. I think it would have been so much better and so much more relatable, and it would have brought so much more nostalgia if they would have incorporated some of the original cast. Some of us could have come back as teachers, or some of their parents, or something. Those cameos, I think, would have really, really brought the ratings up. So I'm hoping that they consider that for the reboot, that they bring some of the original characters back, some of the original cast, and not just for Mighty Morphin. Zeo would be great. I've actually never returned to
I was
the
just
show.
about to say that. It's time for Nakia to get some shine. Like, bring my homegirl back, man. Can we please see her in something? Because you're right. Of all the anniversaries that they done, crossovers, we never got to see a character come back. And that's really disappointing. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's very hurtful. I would pretend I can't pretend like it's not. It was very hurtful. My entire cast has been invited back multiple times, actually. And I remember the original, I think it was the 20-year anniversary. Um, they, I can't remember who owned it at the time. I don't think it had gone over to Hasbro yet, but um, everybody was invited back. They had sent out emails, feelers for everybody. And then they, made a choice from that, I guess, depending on what the Japanese footage was, who they were going to bring back. So yeah, it was very hurtful. I mean, I know that they brought my action figure in the once and always, but it wasn't me. Um, so yeah, it's hurtful, but life goes on. I mean, God has blessed me with, multiple projects since Power Rangers. But I am very grateful for Power Rangers because Power Rangers, even to this day, has allowed me to travel the world and meet extraordinary fans like you.
Hey, I love it, man. So, one more question about the reboot before we continue on and we pivot towards something else. What do you think will be key ingredients to not only this franchise becoming successful with the launch of the reboot, but also attracting new audience?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I think they would probably need to cast someone that is very relevant and popular in pop culture today. Someone that probably is younger and, you know, brings in a crowd, has a huge following. I know that numbers have become a huge thing in acting now. I mean, even when I'm auditioning for projects or considered for projects, casting directors and producers look to see how big your following is. And so, influencers are getting movie deals because they have millions and millions of followers. So I think, with this being the culture that it is today, I think that bringing in someone that has, some importance or has a huge audience will probably be something that they do, I would assume. And I'm hoping again that they would also bring in some original cast members.
Yeah, I
And
think
not
that
just
would
from
do.
TLDR.
I think that will do justice. Even if it is cameos, right? I would be happy for that because at least you pay respect to everybody who came before. And that's what Power Rangers is. Like, it's always been about that. And I think everybody needs to get a chance. And being that you said that, right? I just thought of something. Hear me out, right? Let me know what you think. Because you said somebody who got a grip on pop culture. What about someone fan casting like for Kimberly, like a Millie Bobby Brown? Or she's like 22. They can get I'm assuming this is gonna run for about 4 seasons, if it's a Disney Plus show, if it does well. If it doesn't, then I see like 1 or 2 maybe. But what do you think about that casting? You think she would make a good Kimberly?
Um, yes, but I think she's doing a lot of movies now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so I think that when you become a movie star, television may not be as interesting anymore. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, I think she's an extraordinary talent. She made 11 like as awesome as possible. She is a quite popular character. Stranger Things is quite a popular show. So I think yeah, if they could get her, that would be really, really great. I'm sure a lot of people would watch if she was cast.
Yeah, man. I think we'll do good. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the podcast, right? Power Rangers Playback. We had Kat on the podcast, and she told us how it came about. She told us the story. If y'all haven't seen that episode, please go and check it out, man. We got a whole playlist full of Power Ranger actors that came on here and told their stories. So make sure you check that out and go support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But I want to, so we know how the idea came about. What I want to ask, right, is if this continues, right, the podcasting route for you, right? What do you think will elevate the podcast from a standpoint? Because I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I can learn something from you right now. How could you elevate a podcast that's already been elevated, if that makes sense?
So we have a podcast called Super Chat, and we have a YouTube channel called Power Rangers Playback. So our podcast had 2 seasons where we explored, our first season was we had multiple Power Rangers on there, and we were basically talking to them about life after Power Rangers. Because we wanted, fans to know that they've done more than just Power Rangers and what they're up to now. Our second season really encompassed heroes, real life superheroes. And so we talked a lot to nonprofit organizations, those that were over, trafficking. We've actually spoke to trafficking victims. Ray Fisher, who was in the DC movie. Why can I not think of what it is? He was Cyborg. He was Cyborg.
Oh yeah, Justice
Yeah.
League.
Justice League. Thank you. And so that was we did 2 seasons of our podcast. Now our YouTube channel, Power Rangers Playback, has been just amazing. As Kat mentioned, we started it in 2020, right before the world shut down, and so it gave us a lot of opportunity to explore what we were going to do on our channel, because our original idea, we kept getting, copyright issues from Hasbro and Toy Company in Japan for, putting in some of our episode footage. But to elevate it, we'd love we're looking at sponsorships. We had never gone out looking for sponsorships before. We've opened it up to fans coming on and even interviewing, playing live games. We've done that once or twice on our podcast. And so we're just looking to different ways to elevate. We have channel membership, and so our channel members actually give us so many great ideas, and we've implemented a lot of those. So we just want to listen to our fans and listen to our channel members and give them what they're asking for. And so that's kind of how we guide what we do, and building an empire. That's the goal, building an empire.
Hey, I love that. And heroes, make sure y'all support. Go get that membership. Link will be in the description below, man. Please go support. Go, man. I can't beg y'all enough. Now, I want to ask you this question, right? For the Power Rangers Playback. What was your most unexpected thing a Ranger revealed where it made you, wait, what? Made you hit one of those?
Oh, gosh.
Because you had some good ones. I seen some good episodes on there, man. Rest in peace, JDF episode was amazing. He even, I think one of y'all even had to leave and come back. That's
Yes.
real life, like real time.
Kat had to go pick up her children, and I stayed there. We had so many questions coming in the super chat. Gosh, I really have to think about all of the guests that we've had and things that they revealed. What was surprising for me that just came to my head when we had David Yost on and we were talking about Once and Always. He shared how Once and Always came about. I had no idea that the thought came from him. I had no idea that he was, part of his ideas and the writing and all of that birthed from him. So that was new for me and gave me the what now? Because that wasn't always like new projects like that coming from a Ranger and Hasbro actually listening. It was just that was amazing. I thought that was great. I'd have to think about others, but that's the first one that could.
Hey, that's good enough for me, man. I love it. Now, I do want to go back to the con situation, right? Are there any dream destinations? Because I ain't gonna lie, heroes, I kind of messed up. That question was in the beginning. We wasn't supposed to start the podcast off with that because now we're getting into the con segment. But hey, I'm a little nervous, heroes. Come on, I'm interviewing Nakia right now, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Are there any dream destinations, right, that you hope to visit for a con that you haven't been yet?
I would love to go to Ireland. I'd love to go to Paris again, but a different part of France. Excuse me. I'd like to go to France. I'd love to go to Paris too, but yes, France, Ireland, Singapore, we're in negotiations with that. So, yes, I love the out of country conventions because I get to see another part of the world, you know? And yeah, that would be really, really great. Yay.
Hey, I'm here for it, man. Hey, I hope you come to Oklahoma, well, Tulsa, Oklahoma one day. I got to see Steve, he came out here. For those who don't know, that's the Red Ranger, Rocky. And he was also on the show as well. Wonderful guy, man. I got to see him, and I came right with a Megazord Funko Pop, the Biddy joint, and it got damaged there. And he had one on his table. He was like, "Hey, I'll give you this one." And I was like, "You know what? Let's do it, man. Package it all up. I'll get this one signed, that one signed, pick everything. Let's do it all." So I love seeing y'all, but unfortunately, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, really don't get too much support. And matter of fact, one of my friends went out to see you in Atlanta a couple of months ago and actually got something signed for me and my friend Ricky. And if you could, Nakia, please, can you say hi to Ricky real quick? He would go crazy.
Hi, Ricky. Hello, Ricky.
Hey, that's for you, Ricky, man. So, if you ever come out here, man, that would be amazing. I would love it. Cause
we did come to Tulsa.
Oh, y'all did? I just moved out here from New York. So I'm a New York boy. So I moved to the country, with the wife and kids to, settle in. And it's a different life out here. I'm not even, it turned me into a complete introvert, but I'm getting used to it. I done create a podcast. I'm getting my stuff together. So, but man, it's not really much to do out here. So if you ever come back, let me know I'm there, man. I'm definitely there. Now we're gonna get into our universal question. Before we do, we got a giveaway happening. That's right, heroes, rangers. If you're watching, even villains, y'all are even included in this one as well. We have a giveaway. This is our recommendation segment. Now, Nakia is going to give us a recommendation that means something to her, whether it be a movie, a song, a show, Woman of God. So it might be a script. Who knows what she's going to give us? Check out the recommendation. Leave a comment below. The more comments you leave, the better your chances are at winning. Now, keep in mind, heroes, I will never ask you for any shipping money, so don't get fooled in the comments. The giveaway will be a Nintendo Switch 2 or PlayStation 5, and I will announce it at the milestone of 5K. So, Nakia, let us know what's a recommendation that the hero should check out that means something to you.
Wow. The Bible.
Talk to him. Hey, we here for it. Talk to him.
So, a lot of people, even people that say that they're believers, do not know what BIBLE stands for. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. And how many people actually look at their basic instructions before leaving Earth, the Bible, to see what God says about them and how much he loves them?
That was deep because I didn't even know that. That was deep. I didn't even know that. I'm going to keep it 100. So check it out, man. If it's a script, a song, whatever it is, man, leave it in the comments. And that is our recommendation for today's episode. Now we're going to go to our universal questions. These are fun. We got 2 of them, right, Nakia? The first one is, who are your top 5 fictional characters of all time?
Okay, growing up, I was Wonder Woman.
Ooh, let's go.
Anything else, I would wear my underoos. People that are my age, they're going to understand what underoos were. They were basically for little kids, and they were underwear, but girls had like a little miniature bra and a little panties, but they were designed for superheroes. So I would put on my Wonder Woman underoos, and I'd whip out my belt, and I'd swing it around like it was a whip. And I was Wonder Woman. Nobody else. So Wonder Woman would be one of them. My best friend Kat, we are absolute sisters. Other fictional characters that I've enjoyed. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. She played multiple characters because I love funny. After leaving Power Rangers, I'd written a script that's out. That's a comedy. I've done a lot of sitcoms. So Carol Burnett, Some of the roles that she's played in her sketch comedy, phenomenal. So I would use one of her, and I can't even think of any of her names. She just had so many. So she would be one. Cat. How many do I have to have?
Two more. You got two more.
Four. Fictional characters. I would say Erin's character in Time Force, who played what was Erin's character? Because she was basically a leader. I know her and Jason
Jen?
back and forth. Jen, yes, Jen, all powerful Jen. I think she was pretty awesome. And one more, una más. Let me think. Let me think. Huh. Fictional character. Let's go with Black Widow.
Ooh, strong, man. You got one DC, one Marvel, one Power Rangers. You got one from Sketch, and my God, what was the other one?
Two DC. Wonder Woman.
Two DC.
One. Oh no, you're right. Wonder Woman is DC. Marvel is Black Widow. Two Power Rangers, and then
Power Rangers, and the sketch comedy.
Yes.
Hey, I love it, man. You can't go wrong with it. Now, the next one is gonna get a little tougher because you only get 4, right? And this one is for strictly Power Rangers. Who are your Mount Rushmore of Power Rangers? And big shout out that you shouted out Time Force. Heroes, stay tuned because right now we're currently in talks with Wes from Time Force, Jason Font. We're locking it in. I promise y'all, I'm gonna make it happen. So who would be your Mount Rushmore of Power Rangers?
It would be an all-female team.
Okay, woman power. Talk that talk.
I would be the leader.
Let's go. Hey, which one, Turbo or Zeo?
Zeo.
Ooh, okay.
And it would be Catherine, who played Cat. It would be
which version of Cat?
So it would be her Zeo version. It would be so 5. So
you got 4.
Cat.
So
4.
Yeah, you got 2. So you got 2 Zeos.
Karen, Aisha, who played Aisha.
Mighty Morphin.
3. And then I would do Katie from Time Force.
Hey, I like it.
So that's actually 3 yellow and 1 pink.
Hey, it's still cooking. I ain't even gonna lie. You cook with that. Now, before we let you go, I want to talk about you personally because, man, you have done some amazing things. I want to first get your question because it is called Voice of the Heroes, and I love Power Rangers to the core of me. I'm a huge Power Rangers fan, but I'm also big on voice acting. Tell us, how did you get into the voice acting lane? Because, man, you do a hell of a job, in voice acting. Tell us, how did you get into that career?
Thank you. Well, Scott Page, who used to work at Power Rangers, God rest his soul, he passed away a few years ago. He used to do the ADR, the voiceover. He was the head over the voiceover for Saban. And then he eventually moved. He left after we had left the show. He had left several years later and start working at Mattel. And he called me in for auditions. I was just so blessed to be able to audition. He would give me pointers on what to do. And I ended up booking a couple roles. And then Barbie's Life in the Dream House came about, and they literally just offered me the role as Nikki, which I was so honored because, some of the other actors had to audition. To be offered a role is just really, really great. And I was not that experienced in voiceover, except for my on Power Rangers when we had to do that. So it was definitely Scott Page who introduced voiceover to me. And so from my character Nikki, I kept getting brought in for various Barbie roles, Barbie projects, and then Ann Knapp, who is now Ann Austin. She was also a writer on Power Rangers, one of the producers when I was there, and she started working for Mattel. And so she started calling me in because she started taking over some Barbie projects. And actually, she's going to be live on our YouTube channel this coming up Wednesday, talking about behind the scenes, what was happening in the writer's room, what was some ins and outs of people that, she's going to give some intel on some things that, even we didn't know. that was happening when we released.
I'm locked in. I'm tuning in for that.
Yeah. So she'll be there. So yes, it was Scott Page that introduced me to voiceover, and it's been a great ride. Really, really great ride.
Fantastic. Now, from voice acting, you jumped in and put your writer's hat on and in the producer seat, which, for those who don't know, Dismissed, I believe, is the name of the movie, right?
Well, that was my first movie, Class Dismissed. My
Class
recent
Dismissed
movie is called Back to Bridgewood, and it's
you got a new one out?
Yeah, that was released in March. It's based off of the same characters from Class Dismissed. So it was actually written as a feature film. Class Dismissed was written as a web series that I had on YouTube from 2015 through 2017. And a distributor said if I could combine all of the episodes together into a movie that they would distribute it. And so that's what I did with Class Dismissed. But Back to Bridgewood was written as a feature film and used the same characters from Class Dismissed, but with it's a comedy. It's a faith-based comedy, and actually Jason Font is in it. Serena Vincent is in it, but they don't play Rangers. Jason Font actually plays my doctor, and Serena Vincent plays like an entertainment host of similar to what would be like Entertainment Tonight host. Yes, and yes.
Oh,
And it's
man, you're a woman of many talents. Let's go. I love it. You know, before we let you go, right, I got to ask you, which I pretty much know the answer, but just to clear things up, right? Which helmet do you cherish more, the Turbo or the Zeo?
Well, I cherish them both. I'll say that because Power Rangers has been, I know I use blessing a lot, the word blessing, but I use that a lot because it's real and it means a lot to me. No one could have told me 30 years ago that I would still be talking about Power Rangers, traveling the world, and meeting extraordinary fans because of that show. So I have to say that both helmets mean so much to me. I loved Zeo because obviously I didn't have to share my suit. I felt like Tanya had a lot of storylines that were based on her. I loved the design of the suit. Turbo, I loved that we got to fight in civilian clothes. Zeo, I never fought in civilian clothes. Fighting was so fun. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. And so Turbo, I loved that part. I loved the lights shine on the helmets in Turbo. And that was my final season. So I will also cherish that. It was very heartbreaking to leave the show. And we'll probably talk about that on Wednesday because Anne had a lot to do. She knew what was happening behind the scenes when she knew what was happening, when we didn't know what was happening.
So heroes, if you want that conversation to continue from here to there, link in the description. I promise I'll have it for you. But I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. So I appreciate both seasons very much so. Power Rangers has been a staple in so many lives, including mine. And so I'm very grateful, very grateful.
Well, Nakia, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I had a phenomenal time with you. I'm pretty sure y'all enjoyed the conversation. If you did, please leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. Let people know where to follow you at.
I have one more thing to say before I say the follow. I didn't speak about my current project that I'm working on.
Oh, so let's do it. Let's talk about it.
I am writing, I don't know if many of you know, I got an opportunity to write my own story in Across the Morphin Grid. And so it came out in November last year, and then they did a graphic novel where they included it inside of there. My co-writing partner, business partner, JD Sutphin, I got to answer what fans have been asking for so long, which was, Where is Tanya? Where do you think Tanya is now and what is she doing? So if you have not read Across the Morphin Grid, Tanya's Heavy Metal Rescue, please do, because it talks about where it's an adventure story. There's so much action happening. You get to see where she is and who she ends up with. That's the first thing. And because that was the first time I'd ever written a comic book, which is so different than writing a movie script, I got a little comic book writing bug. And now I'm writing a series called The Never Never Kids. And it has nothing to do with Power Rangers, but these are superheroes. And I'm, God willing, it will be coming out within a year or so. But yeah, we're almost done with the pitch deck. We already have the characters, all of that, but it's called The Never Never Kids. So be on the lookout. Actually, we have a website on it as well. So yeah, check it out.
Please send me all the links. I'm a super supporter, man. And to be honest, the heroes know I'm actually writing one myself called Ghost Division X. It's like supernatural meets, I don't know, Ghostbusters, something like that, right? And because I'm a huge supernatural fan. But man, for you, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. I'm sorry, I know you gotta go, but I want to ask you, when you get writer's block, or if you get into a space where you're like, because I'm trying to create an epic story within like 34 pages, right? And I want to like make it so impactful that the first issue can probably like pay for the second or the third and continue the story, so forth and so on, maybe with a Kickstarter or something. But the community knows we did one. Shout out to everybody that donated. We actually raised about almost $6,000 for this project. So, I'm stuck though at a point right now. And it's like, it's hard to give every character because, it's something like a team of characters, right? How would you personally go about that? Like giving each character in an issue at least a moment of shine and dedication.
I would reflect on my own life and some of the characters, some of the people that I've met, because God has given us so many people in our lives, whether it's somebody that's been there for 5 minutes or someone that's been there for years. And these characters probably represent someone that you've encountered in your life, if you can sit and think about that. I also get inspiration if I get a writer's block, and so oftentimes I'll sit there and I'll pray and I'll ask God to help me with direction, and He'll give me ideas that way. Or I'll go to I'll just start watching television shows or movies, and I start to get inspired and creative with, oh my gosh, oh, I loved how they do that. But now if I put a spin to that and I make it my own, so I get inspired that way as well. When I wrote Back to Bridgewood, it birthed from my own personal experiences. When I left Power Rangers, I did not, like most Rangers, did not have a series to go to right afterward. I didn't have a job. Nobody handed me a contract to a new television show. So I had to freaking figure it out. And, when I was filming Power Rangers, I was also a full-time student at UCLA. And that was one thing that I was so grateful for, that my mom said, Kia, don't quit college. And so I was full-time student at UCLA and filming 12 hours a day. And it was literally by the grace of God that I graduated, got my BA. But because of that, when I left Power Rangers, I started substitute teaching in the inner city. And that experience helped me write Class Dismissed, helped me write Back to Bridgewood, because a lot of those characters were loosely based off of some of the people I met in the school and some of the students that I met in the school. And I would just jot down things that, like, I'd be in class listening to some of these. So they would come up with these 10-year-olds would come up with these funny little antics. Whether it be, I remember one of them, which doesn't even sound funny, like when you think about it, but I remember this kid being so broken because one of the other kids called her a trash digger. And I remember I wrote that down, and I actually added it into one of my episodes in Class Dismissed, because she was so hurt from it. And the kids were laughing, but I had to talk her through it. But it was like little things like that, little puns like that, comedy wise would be great, but obviously I needed to make sure that the little girl was okay. But there were just so many experiences. So I would say, think about some of the experiences that God has given you and even some of the shows that you've seen that have inspired you. And I think that could help you come up with some ideas, add some spins to what you've already seen. At least that's how it works for me.
Hey, I love the advice. Thank you so much, Nakia. And I gotta get a copy of that. Let me know. It's called the Never Never Kids, right?
Never Never Kids. Yes, we did have a sneak peek out. We still have a few copies of that. So we sold a couple of sneak peeks on Free Comic Book Day. And Back to Bridgewood, my movie, is streaming on Apple, Amazon, Tubi, basically every platform but Netflix. It's called Back to Bridgewood. And you were asking earlier, where can people find me? I'm on Instagram, Nakia Burrise. My Facebook page was hacked a few months ago, and so I never gained access back to my personal page that links to my fan page. So my fan page is still out there. It's linked to my Instagram. So whatever I post on Instagram goes straight to my Facebook. But unfortunately, I can't go in and comment under that fan page. So the fan page is nakia.burrise. And then obviously I have a website, Nakia Burrise, and Power Rangers Playback is Power Rangers Playback YouTube channel and Power Rangers Playback website as well, where we have merchandise and stuff available. And Patreon, we have a Patreon, and we have YouTube channel membership as well. So Patreon is patreon.com/Power Rangers Playback. And then if you go to our YouTube channel, you can just press join if you want to become a
definitely. Heroes, please, man. All links will be provided for you. I'm gonna get all the links. Hit those links, man, in the bottom. I know I am, because I still want to get that Zeo joint I seen on IG that you posted. It's like a hologram where it's you, and then you turn and it's like that. I thought that was so cool, man. I gotta get that. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Heroes, please, man, as always, support by just simply commenting, and if you choose, subscribing to the channel. Nakia, thank you so much for coming on the show. God bless you. Thank you. And heroes, please, as always, don't forget to love yourself, pass that love on, and love others. And if nobody told you so, just know your boy love you. Voice of the Heroes, signing out.
What do you think you're doing?